I remember me when I was 14, 15 years old, and I had the exact countdown of how many days until I'm 18 so I can finally fight. 'Cause I trained 12 to 18 years old without even being able to do what I
Wow.
wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do it
Okay.
though.
Right
All my
on.
body weight, and they usually tap right here, and then they don't, and then I hear that pop, 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 and then my dream has always been to be a good dad. But the feeling of loneliness and abandonment and not being good enough. My child will never feel those feelings.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of C-Rod's Tell Me a Story podcast. I'm your host, C-Rod. Let me tell you a story. Today's story is about one of those people who just knew what they were going to do with their life from an early age. You know how when old videos resurface of celebrities and entertainers singing and dancing as kids? Or when a little girl is spinning in circles saying they want to be a ballerina and later on go on to attend the New York Ballet. Well, that takes us back 26 years ago to Youngstown, Ohio, where our MC was born. There, at an early age, he knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a professional fighter. At the age of 12, he found himself in a gym with adults pursuing that dream. And these adults did not hold punches on a 12-year-old kid. Now, he's 26 years old, he's a professional fighter, and he's the feature of today's podcast. Today, I bring you the story of Jason Mullen. All right, back at you with another episode of C-Rod's Tell Me Your Story podcast. I'm your host, C-Rod, and I'm with you with my guest today, Jason Mullen.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, man. I had training today, wrestling practice.
Yeah, tired.
Yeah, it's always a grinder for sure.
Yeah, what were y'all doing again?
Wrestling. So
What drill?
our new wrestling coach, Alex Friedman, actually started off as one of our strength and conditioning coaches at Landau. And he actually coaches a high school team up the street from the gym. And what he's done for those kids has been pretty amazing, considering the school's track record. Since he's been there, they've made major strides with kids going to state and things like that. So what he's kind of doing for us is a bit of a change of pace. He's giving us more of a base foundation to start with our wrestling. Let's say I'm in on an underhook in the clinch. He's going to give me three options that I can go to based on my opponent's reaction and what I want to do as the athlete to find success in that position. So three basic foundational movements, and of course you can branch off from there. But I feel like it's really good to have that base foundation, no matter what the martial art is, for you to just go back to the basics and really hone in on those three things, and then branch from there. And if it's not working, go back to the basics again, and restart from scratch.
Yeah, so working off the underhooks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just telling you now, wrestling is a tiring. It's a tiring training class.
For sure.
Yeah, I always used to hate those days.
Even when I go to wrestling now, I'm trying to have more of a flowy pace. If I'm really worried about a practice being super hard or a grinder, like I said before, I try to have a lot of flow, a lot of swag, and have as much fun as I possibly can during it. So I'm not using all the energy in the world to be so
Yeah.
So it's just be a little bit more flowy, have some more swag on those kind of days, and let everyone wear themselves out, trying to muscle you around, then you show out at the end.
What did Bruce Lee say? Be water, my friend.
Be water, my friend.
Yeah.
You put water into a pot, it becomes the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jason's an up-and-coming MMA fighter. You know, I talked to a lot of mixed martial artists, boxers, and etc. And he's just coming on the show to tell us about, his life, about the come-up, about the pursuit, and maybe shed a light on anybody, the amateurs, and anybody looking to come up in mixed martial arts. So where are you from, my brother?
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown, the gangster city.
Yeah, yeah, Steel City.
It's known for This ain't known for the mob, ain't it?
Yeah, there was some mob activity there back in the day. You know, my grandpa was a cop so long ago in Youngstown that you had to buy your own bullets, and there was no walkie-talkies and things like that. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't know how much I can talk about, but he arrested someone he wasn't really supposed to arrest and had to do the rest of his life over there in Florida, being a cop over there. Yeah, he loves talking about that, though. It's his favorite story.
My mom lives in Ohio. She lives in Ironton or Columbus. It's over there by the West Virginia county line or state line. They go back and forth from West Virginia to Ohio all the time. My brother owns a tattoo shop in West Virginia. So, you got brothers and sisters?
I do. I'm the oldest of seven.
7?
Yeah.
So you have 6 little brothers and sisters?
Yeah. So my mom and my dad, they had me and my 3 brothers, Caius, Brody, and Jack, and I'm the oldest of those. And then my parents split up, and then my dad had 3 daughters after that.
There's a lot of siblings.
Yeah, it's a lot of siblings. Yeah, for sure.
They all look up to you?
Oh yeah. I'd say like the biggest thing about being the oldest sibling, especially in like a broken home situation, is it really does force you to grow up pretty fast, which has its advantages. I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't have to play that role a little bit, but it also has disadvantages too, for sure.
So you say you have your parents separated, and then your dad had three more kids? Or?
Yeah, my dad had 2 daughters with my now stepmom, and then they adopted another one on top of that.
So what's your dad like?
Me and my dad's relationship's a little choppy. I've definitely had to do some therapy for the things in our past, and I'm proud to say I forgave him for a lot of those things. And me and him have a pretty good relationship. I talk to him on the phone here and there, and we'll do like a dinner when I'm back in town after a fight or so like that. But and something I'm really proud of when it comes to my issues with my father is that my relationship with my dad is different than those of my siblings, and it wouldn't be fair for me to project my feelings of my father onto them. And I was conscious of that even at a young age, like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, when it was really in the thick of the problems. I never really talked about my feelings towards our dad to them because they view him differently. And I figure if what I know about him or what I feel about him is true, then they'll eventually see it on their own and make their own decisions.
Yeah, it's not up to you to be bashing him.
It's not. It's not at all. That's the worst part about parents separating, is one of them is talking about the other one. It doesn't help when the older sibling who you look up to also is doing that too. So.
And so, what was your mom like?
My mom's pretty great, man. She's always so happy and nice and like accepting of everybody. She actually is the coach of my little brother's roller derby team. She coaches her own team and manages it as well. So she coaches 2 traveling roller derby teams that she starts on one of them, and she's 50 years old doing all that.
50 years old, roller derby?
Kicking ass, man.
Isn't roller derby where they like get on the rollerblades and like hit each other?
Yeah, so roller derby is actually pretty simple. There's 2 positions, blockers and jammers. Each team has like 4 or 5 blockers, and each team has 1 jammer. The blockers have to stop the other team's jammer from doing laps around the track by getting in their way and things like that. And if the jammer falls, they have to restart back at the back of the race again. And the more times you get around, the more points.
I can't remember the name of that movie that I saw. There's a movie where I seen women, and they were like, it's it's a tough sport. Like they're blocking the shit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
It's crazy that she's 50 years old.
She's killing it. She's killing it for sure. That's where I get my athletic ability from, is my mom.
Yeah. What were your parents doing for a living?
My mom now, she travels the country teaching special ed teachers how to de-escalate situations with hard to handle children in that field. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, she loves it. She loves it.
She's done that as long as you can remember.
Well, when she had me, she was 19, 20 years old and still in college to be a teacher. She did the English teacher thing for a little bit, an opportunity school, which is mostly for kids that are too misbehaving to be in regular school, so they go to this opportunity school. It's their last chance school. and
opportunity.
And then she would always end up bringing those kids home with her to do like chores around the house and like just help them out, show them how to be a better person and things like that. And then she moved on from that to work for this orphanage kind of deal, and she would kind of like delegate in there. But the problem with those government funded jobs is people like my mother are the only ones in there that actually give a damn about what's really going on here, and not worried about funding or the next big project or how they look to the, So my mom would come home pretty upset a lot of the time with because they limit how much she can do for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she was pretty upset about that. Some of the horrible stories she would come home and tell me about those poor kids. I can only imagine what she didn't tell me. So she got out of that. She went to school for a year or so to be an electrician. After that, at about 48 years old, I was learning to be an electrician, but she didn't like the field or the camaraderie of that kind of group of people. So she got out of that. Now, like I said, she travels around and teaches teachers, doing a hike in every state that she lands in for work, and is loving life. And it's good to see her making some real money. And
plus, she has that background.
Yeah.
And your dad?
My dad started, again, had me at 19, 20 years old, and he was just a maintenance guy at a company called Thermalink in Warren, Ohio. They make and sell copper wire, and he would just fix the machines when they broke down there, and then he leveled up through there, and now he's one of the main delegators of the company, and makes some big boy moves and travels around to other branches and things like that. So
been there for a
definitely,
while.
my parents are definitely hard workers for sure.
Yeah. So and you said they separated when you were how old?
I was about 12 years old. Yeah.
That was probably a tough time.
That's when I started training. Yeah. Angry little boy.
Well, so that's a weird. My parents stayed together, which my stepfather, not my real father, but my stepfather raised me, and they were together till he passed away.
Yeah.
And it's probably really tough to watch your parents like fight and argue until they separate. I couldn't imagine the toll that it took on you. What was that like?
Well, my dad didn't really handle it in the best of ways. He just did like little petty things to like make the situation even like bleaker and sadder, as if it was like a movie, and just kind of like brought us into it without getting too much into it. Kind of brought us into it as the kids more than he had to. It's like, this might be the last time I see you and stuff like that, when it's not like that. And then my mom would do things like put a restraining order on him, saying that he can't speak ill of her to us. But then he would go around saying that it was a restraining order, they can't see his kids. That's not the situation.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like manipulating the situation to make himself look better and like pin us against our mom. You know, I've never really forgiven him for that portion of it. But then being a 12-year-old boy and looking at my dad as the one who was kicked out, per se, that's how I viewed it in the moment. I took his side, and I was pretty horrible to my mom. We had some big fights when I was little, because I just didn't understand, and she wasn't going to explain to me what a piece of crap my dad was being, because she was just not that kind of person. So she would take it on the chin. I would get so mad at her and so frustrated with her, but she always stayed patient and didn't really fault me for that too much.
Yeah, you're automatic. You're a boy, so
yeah,
you take your dad's and you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. But you think you do, though, but you don't. You just don't, Nemo. You think you can do these things, but you just can't.
She's probably like, you little shit.
Yeah, dude, I know. But it's actually super funny. My mom has only hit all of us boys one time apiece that I can remember in my whole life. And and the one time she hit my brother Caius, dude, he just so happened to have a loose tooth at the time, and the tooth came out, and we didn't let her live that down for a long time. Knocked his tooth right out of there.
So I had kind of a similar experience. There was this time where I forget what started it though, but I wanted to fight my brother. He was sitting. We had these lazy boys, and he was sitting on the lazy boy, and I just kept, come on, and I mean, I pushed, and then he stood up and just started beating the living shit out of me. Well, my dad doesn't know that part, that I started this. So he walks in, man, and he's like, what are you doing? He just waylays.
You're the younger brother?
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world now.
Just waylays my brother and knocks out his teeth. Yeah, it was, oh my God, it was hilarious. I mean, at the time it wasn't, but
looking back now,
my dad was like, why are you beating up your brother, you know? Like, this little motherfucker started this shit. Yeah. So, when you were, did it affect your school? Were you like, how was
I was
school?
never the smartest cookie in the bunch, you know what I mean? I was never really. I did pretty well in English class because my mom and my grandma are both English teachers, so I get extra help with that. But as soon as we started graphing equations and math, I was like, what? I was like, you lost me. you lost me.
What's the point? How am I going to use
I was
this?
like, I'm never going to graph an equation. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You won't.
I'm sorry.
Won't, unless you're like a engineer or architect.
Yeah, but like, I'm trying to fight people. I'm not trying to graph nothing.
So what were you like in high school?
I mean, I'd like to think that I was the same way I am now, just always trying to make a joke and make as many friends as I can, build as many good bridges as I can. I've always been the kind of person that I just so much rather be your friend than your enemy. I remember my first day at Columbiana High School. It was the day after Christmas break, freshman year, and this junior, I guess he was, bumped into me. It was my first day, so I was like, oh my God, bro, I'm so sorry, like, my bad. And then ever since that day, he just always wanted to fuck with me and like yell shit at me or throw shit at me or like try to get me to fight him because I had already been training for a long time at that point. Oh, wow. And I feel like he knew that somehow by my ears and stuff like that because he wrestled. and just always had an issue with me just based on that. And I was always trying to be like, bro, why can't we just like squash this? Like, let's just be friends. He was like, no. But like, over what, bro? I just have no interest in confrontation. Like, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that feeling. Yeah. I'd rather just be your friend.
Unless it's in the cage.
I mean, yeah. It doesn't really bother me too much then, but even shit, man. I mean, even in some of my earlier amateur fights, it's good to get it out there, I guess. Like, the confrontation would bother me because, I mean, right now I've been training for like 15 years, and it's always been some of my best friends that I'm training with. So it's like, I don't have issues with them. I mean, that's not going to be confrontational in practice. Yeah. So in previous amateur fights, when it would get confrontational, it made me a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah. Like, I would do way better if we were cool. Yeah. But
yeah. Stop being a dick, bro. I need you to be chill.
Yeah.
So when you're at 12 years old, you start training?
Yeah, I started boxing. Yeah, I did 2 years at a boxing gym. I had a couple of boxing matches. And then I found an MMA gym in Youngstown, Ohio, under Andy Belkey, Camel Martial Arts, Team CMA. I got that tattooed right here. But I was there from 14 to 22, 23 almost. And it was like a little like bedroom-sized gym with just cement floor with some shitty 1 centimeter thick blue puzzle piece mat, like a preschool.
Still hurts.
And I was, like I said, I was like 14, and there was no kids class. There was no traditional stuff. It was like, you're in here with the guys that want to fight.
Isn't that crazy how, like, you look back in the older days of mixed martial arts and people were like specialists, but you have been training mixed martial arts, like the full spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, you're not someone who comes from wrestling or comes from judo or boxing.
No. I mean, Ohio really is, it's one of the best wrestling states in the country as far as college wrestling goes, from what I understand. So then all the better fighters that I trained with back home were primarily wrestling based. So I was doing the same wrestling stuff they were doing on the team at school, just in a different building. I was learning the same things and doing the same drills pretty much, because look who's teaching me. It's y'all. It's y'all.
So you were pretty much a little ass. You probably the last kicker at 14, 15 years old. You were already 2-3 years deep.
Yeah, I definitely thought I was, for sure. I definitely thought, yeah. And it's funny when people say that, like, oh yeah, I thought I was, because like, even when I was already a professional fighter, when I came to try out for Factory X for the month, dude, I thought I was sweet. I really did. I thought I had it all figured out. And I didn't know a goddamn thing.
Came to the X and was like, holy shit.
I didn't know. There's levels, because that's why I like Factory X. It's like, we're all that person in a way, that like, we're the best from where we come from, and there was nothing else they could do for us, and then we all just kind of flocked here. Yeah. And we all just feed off that.
It's a bunch of, and everybody pushes each other there.
Yeah, there is no easy round.
There's no easy
There's no, like, because like back home, we all know that one guy or that one person we can go with where it's going to be like, all right, I can kind of fuck around a little bit and chill out. But everyone's coming for that ass every round, no matter what day of the week it is. I'm like, bro, it is Monday morning at 10 a.m. If you don't chill out right now.
Yeah. So then during high school, that kept you pretty level then, huh?
Yeah, dude. Like, I feel like, because again, I was 14 years old, training with grown-ass men and coming home with bloody noses, and you'd think that they would hold back on me, but the people of Youngstown, Ohio, that want to spend 2 hours an evening getting punched in the face for fun generally aren't the most upstanding citizens in the world, so they have no problem beating up a mouthy 12-year-old boy with daddy issues, okay? So they have no problem with that. Yeah, dude, so it really just kept me cool. Like, I don't really want to have a problem with anybody, because I know what violence is.
Yeah.
It's like, I work security downtown at a club, the View House, and it's like,
oh yeah, okay.
People get so drunk there, and they try me, and it's like, this person has no idea what violence really is, or could be like, it sounds cliche to say, but dude, I will break your fucking face.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not gonna know what to do. And I've gotten in grappling exchanges with them before, and it's just like, it's been years since I've grappled anybody that doesn't know what they're doing, and it's like almost like throws me off a little bit. Like, they don't know I can feel it like right away. Like, oh, you're a baby. You don't know anything. And it's like, I feel like I want to protect them from that. Yeah. And like I said before, I'd rather be your friend anyway. Even in high school, I was like, I don't care. Like, people would always take the fact that I fight personally. I'm like, dude, if you play chess all day, you're probably going to beat me at chess. Yeah. Same thing with soccer or basketball. And I praise that. Good for you. Yeah. I would just beat you in a fight, and it doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah. You could still be a tough guy. You could still be a man. You could still be cool. We could still be friends.
Yeah. This is what I do all day. It doesn't
matter. Like, they take it like, no, well, what if I did this? Then I'd slap you in your face.
Yeah. I used to get the question, you ever got this one? Well, y'all fight with rules. You fight with rules. I'd be like, motherfucker, what do I do with you without the rules? Are you serious?
Yeah. If you could hit people in the back of the head, the rear naked choke would be useless. Yeah. You might as well just hit him in the back of the head.
What the guy was telling me, I told him, what if I spinning tornado kicked you in the dick? Like,
then when I got up, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
You'd be fucked, you know what I mean? Because that's what I used to tell people when they would say, this is the streets. I say, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna slam you on that street.
Slam you on your fucking head in the streets.
It's hard. It's a hard thing.
Most people are just naive to,
I don't know what they think they have to prove to me, man. I'm like, I just want to be your friend. I really don't want to fight you.
Did you have a lot of friends in high school?
I had my little friend group for sure. I kind of drifted between a bunch of different friend groups. I would say I was never like, I was like ultra close with these two guys for sure. But other than that, I would just talk to anybody. Like, I've known them for years. I would sit somewhere different every day for lunch. I feel like I treat everyone the same.
Oh, well, you're probably pretty much like then, huh?
What do you mean?
So everybody, you were pretty much alike then.
I mean, I feel like I was just kind of there. Like, no one really minded me being around. I always had a joke. I never really made too much noise.
The guy with the messed up
just kind of chilling out. Yeah. Yeah, when this ear happened, it was so like purple and like heavy that it was like hanging off my head like this. Ooh. And this girl Savannah, dude, she started a rumor in school because I had to miss a day because to get this checked out. Yeah. She had started a rumor that my ear fell off.
What the?
And then when I came back, everyone's like, "Did your ear fall off?" I'm like, "Motherfucker,
it's right here.
It's right here. It's right here, dude."
So you go through high school, no problems, and you graduate?
Yeah, no problems. Yeah, I graduated. That school was petty though, because I guess I didn't get like the great enough grades to graduate. So like to make up for extra credit, my principal just had me do detentions because I wasn't available on Saturday mornings to work the track meets and work the game concession stands.
Yeah.
So it was either that or detention, and both ways. Like, so what, you're gonna trade labor for me getting a passing grade in a class? I just didn't like that principal, dude. He was a dick.
That wasn't a bad. Can you sleep in detention?
No, it was one of those. But I would have like the hoodie on, and I would have my wired headphone through the sleeve, and be like, shit. And they gave us those little like netbook laptop computers. Oh yeah. And not all the game sites were blocked. Player, let me tell you right now, you gotta like get the VPN on there and get the game sites.
Do you remember graduating and stuff?
Yeah, my graduating class only 80 kids, so it was short and sweet. Yeah,
30 minutes done.
45 minutes, everyone's done, in and out.
Just throw the hat.
Yeah, I really didn't even really. I mean, I know I have to graduate high school just for like the social status of it all and things like that, but I always knew that I was gonna fight.
So did you? You couldn't fight till you're 18, or was the?
Yeah, that's funny. Everyone back home at the gym at CMA laughs. Like, they remember me when I was 14, 15 years old. Like, and I had like the exact countdown of how many days until I'm 18, so I can finally fight. 'Cause I trained 12 to 18 years old without even being able to do what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to do it though. I knew it, bro. I knew it. And then I remember as soon as my first fight started. Because it was, like, again, years of just wondering, what's it going to feel like? What's it going to feel like? And then as soon as the ref said go, I was like, oh, this is what it's like. Like, I remember thinking in my head, oh, this is what it's like. Oh, I can do this. Yeah. I can do this.
Just see red, right?
No, I just felt like I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
I was kind of locked in and hit that. I feel like I hit that flow state in that first fight, like, almost right away, which is pretty rare. Yeah. And like, in a sense, I feel like I've always been pretty good about getting into that state where it's like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. I was always terrified up until it started.
Same, yeah. Same. And it's never like, it's like getting a tattoo. As soon as they start, like, okay, I can do it. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like,
I'm terrified all the way to the cage.
I can take it. Yeah.
And once I get in, it's like once it starts, it's like, oh, you're trying to fuck me up.
It kind of just like slows down.
Yeah, in slows a way. Down. Yeah.
It gets like quieter, almost easier to process.
It's kind of hard to see the audience.
Yeah,
because it's so dark.
Yeah, for sure.
So, tell me about that first fight. What happened, or how did it get signed?
Because again, I've been watching MMA, watching UFC, and just like training, and I did everything in that fight. I mean, I striking, there was wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I did like a Superman punch off the cage. I held him against the fence and was doing foot stomps and things like that. Like in my very first fight, I had like all these things I knew how to do that I had to get out. I had to get it out. So
6 years.
I just did like everything like right away, the whole thing.
Yeah, did you win?
Yeah, I won second round guillotine choke. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you remember sinking it in?
Yeah. I kept getting it like all fight long, and he kept just getting his head out the last second. But that last one, I knew I bit down on that pretty hard.
And then from there on, was it like fighting?
Yeah, I won. So I was still a senior in high school when I had that fight. So I had school on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, and no one really even cared that I won that fight. Okay, but then my second fight was April of 2015 or 2016, and I fought Cody Garbrandt's younger cousin, Austin Meese, and I was just, that's one of those fights where there was competition. Because Austin, I knew he was like a famous guy around the area. He had a lot of boxing matches. Everyone loved him. His cousin Cody was killing it. You know what I mean? And he had a bunch of boxing matches, whatever. And he trained in California for Alpha Male for, and then flew back to Ohio to fight me. And he had like the sponsors on his shorts and things like that I didn't have. So that like intimidated me in a way. And I just kind of just like was scared and got TKO'd pretty quick in the first round. And I had school on Monday. And everyone knew about that one, though.
I didn't know about the one you won.
Everyone knew about. I was like, I just won one, though. Also, yeah, I remember my principal, Hostetler. When I walked in the school, he had obviously heard about it because teachers from the school went to see me fight. So they saw what happened, and then he gave me this like smirk when I walked into school, dude. And I'll never forget that, dude. I'll never forget that, dude.
Oh my God.
That was crazy. Like imagine like I was like a kid trying to chase a dream, and you're like a grown man, principal of a school, used to play Michigan football, and it's like, so your dreams didn't work out, and now you're gonna just look at me fucked up.
Yeah, that's messed up. He could have set you.
Oh, you don't like me? I'm also a child. Okay, I'm also 18 years old. How dare you not like an 18-year-old?
I'm in fucking high school.
You're in your 40s, bro.
So after that, how many amateur fights do you have?
10.
Tell me about them.
I was 6-4. I fought King of the Cage once as an amateur. That was cool. This is cool. So in Pennsylvania, you know they have weird rules for amateurs.
Yeah.
Like if you have less than three fights, you can't do ground and pound.
What the?
Or like wear shin guards and just bullshit like that. But across the board, I'm decently sure in every state, amateurs cannot do heel hooks. But they can do straight ankle locks, but you can't do the twisting leg locks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that night, but in the rules meeting, the guy I was fighting, Kahim Murray, asked, he was like, "Can we do heel hooks?" And the ref said yes. I knew that wasn't correct, but I was like, "Fuck it." And then I ended up heel hooking him in the first round of the fight, and then I guess I don't want to speak ill of it, but I guess like a few months later, that ref died in some freak accident type thing, so it just never got reversed, and they still have an amateur heel hook win. Let's go. Yeah, I had some really tough fights as an amateur for sure. William Ferguson was tough. He beat me. Alex Johnson was tough. He beat me in my last amateur fight. It's just those farm boys, man, with that good wrestling background that actually did wrestle. They have that dad strength in their hands. You know what I mean? They're just tough old dogs, man. They definitely grinded out some decisions against me. But yeah, even though I lost my last amateur fight, my coach felt 10 was a good number, especially because I was only 20 years old. So I had 10 fights in 2 years off the jump. So yeah, he asked, because you have to request the state athletic commission to let you fight as a pro in their state. Yeah. Ohio turned me down. They said he has to win one. So then, good old West Virginia didn't have a problem with it. So I got my pro debut against Ardit Haisa, and that was a crazy fight. It was at what's that big casino in West Virginia?
Oh, out there outside of Charleston.
Yeah,
the dog track.
Damn it. Anyways, so I sold like 150 tickets for that one. I had a whole crowd there. It was a big thing. My first pro fight. My whole family, teachers. Family, friends, everybody was there, and I was doing really well in the beginning with striking, but then I missed with a big head kick, and this fool hit me with a 3-2 and knocked me unconscious, bro. We should pull the video up. I was unconscious, right? And then he hits me again and wakes me back up. And I like close my guard real quick and kick off the fence and do this little armbar finish. That's won me 2 fights now as a pro, actually. And I broke his arm and he screamed and tapped. And
but if he would have stopped hitting,
and that's their first minute and 50 seconds of my pro career. Like if he would have just walked off, that fight was, bro, I was dead. I was flatlining there. But then he woke me back up and I got that armbar that I've been doing my whole life, and that was all she wrote, dude.
I wonder if he ever thinks about like, damn, I had that fool out.
Yeah, for sure. That's a long 4-hour car ride home back to North Carolina with a broken arm.
Do you remember thinking like, what's going on? Or like, do you remember like being out? Like,
I remember missing, and then I remember being on my back, and I was like, well, I might as well close my guard, and he just left his arm hanging. So that's just when repetition and drilling takes over. Yeah, I always finish my arm bars in fights, even if it's from the guard, belly down somehow. It's just the way they defend. It's like all my body weight, and I'm usually they usually tap right here, and then they don't, and then I hear that pop, 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 and then it sounds like cereal on the kitchen floor, like Cocoa Puffs, and when you step on it. Like,
how many arms have you broke?
I'd say 2 in MMA and 1 in a grappling tournament. Jeez. And it makes the same sound every time. And they always go tap, tap, tap. And it's like, well, you should have tapped.
You should have tapped about
10 seconds ago. Yeah,
10 seconds ago.
I don't understand. I'm kind of dirty about it too. Like I'll get my fingers inside your glove a little bit. Yeah. And I'll kind of, because it's like you're slippery, so I can't want to grab you. I want to grab what you're attached to. So I get my fingers in your glove and use that to go.
Oh, man.
And I've been doing that, and people in fights have complained to the ref about it. But I just fought AJ Cunningham, shout out him, and I did it to him, and he laughed and did it back to me right away. And I was like, I respect that. Wow. I was like, I respect that. That was a G move.
He's like, oh, let me show you.
He's like, all right, bet. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Is that what we're gonna do here? So then, how many pro fights do you have before you come to Colorado?
I had 2, so I was 2-2. I won my first one. I lost my second one via triangle choke. I won my next one with a rear naked, and then I lost by triangle again.
Oh no! What was that? What was going through your mind after 2 in a row triangles? Like
I thought I was done, dude. I thought I should have stopped fighting. I thought, every loss, like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
So, but then after that second,
it's dark times, bro. That's true. Only the fighters really got that one.
Dude. So it was after my second one, and my coach, Andy, like, again, my dad wasn't really around for me, so he really did raise me from 14 to 20 years old, and he's just like, dude, like, I can't do much else for you. You know what I mean? I don't have the training partners for you. I don't have the knowledge for you. I haven't coached at the level that you want to fight at. So you need to move on to bigger and better things. So that's when I started paying attention to who's cornering the UFC fighters. I listen to things they say, and I've heard a lot of coaching at the top level. Not that I would do any better. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when they yell things like "Don't let him do that to you," or "Don't give up," and it's like, well, this is a UFC fight. It's like. But then I listened to the way that Mark Montoya coaches, and I knew that was the guy. I knew that was the guy.
Specific time?
I don't remember the first time I saw him coaching, but I remember, and then I typed his name in on YouTube and then put coaching behind it, and just the things he would say, and his philosophies on life and things like that. I was like, that's the guy. Yeah.
So you didn't care what state or where?
I didn't even know. I was like, wherever it is. And then
wherever he's at.
I messaged the Instagram of Factory X, and then they gave me his phone number. I sent him a fucking essay, fucking double-spaced MLA format. Yeah, dude. And then he was like, I hear the passion in your words. Give me a call this time. And we talked for a couple hours on the phone. And he was like, yeah, we want to get you to come try out for the team. So then I came for a month. And I actually brought my best friend with me, Cleavon Hill.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Had braids, right?
Yeah, dreads, yeah. And a little backstory on him. He's a big part of my story. So I was about 19 or so, 20 when I met him. First day in the gym, he came in the gym, and we asked him, and he is a big guy. He's a good size 70, undersized 185, I would say, and he's a bigger guy. And I was like, what weight class do you want to fight at? And he goes, well, whenever I get into street fights, I always take the big guy. So I guess heavyweight. we laugh about that now, bro. We do. And I was like, and that's great. But
what do you really want?
Let me see if it's like John Jones. Okay, just like the frame of athlete, And he took a liking to it right away. Of course, his first couple of days weren't a walk in fucking paradise, but I knew that he was different because he kept showing up, man.
Yeah.
Like no matter and we really did put him into the ringer. And there was a time when it was just me and him training together, and I would pick him up and take him home just so I can have a training partner. And he was always down every time. And I'm proud to say he's my best friend in the whole world, and I love him like my family, and I would do anything for him. Him and his children. I'm Uncle Jason to all of his kids, and.
Is that how you met him in the gym when he set the heavyweight?
Yep. And now we're now we're about as close as people can get. And I brought him with me. He'd only have 5 or so amateur fights when I brought him out here to try out. And we came for a month. And at the end of the month, Coach told me, he's like, yeah, I want you to move here. You know, this, that, and the third. So then I went back home and saved money for a year. And working at Peloton, delivering the bikes, and I moved back a year later, and the rest is history. I told Cleavon if he wants to do this, he needs to get out here, and do it. And then he followed about a year and a half later. He came out, and yeah, he's lived here with me ever since. He lives in Denver by the football stadium.
Does he still train?
Mm-hmm, yeah. It didn't really work out at Factory X for him because of just some personal things and just the way it's run. He agrees that the gym's fantastic, but it's just not for him. Yeah. He trains at Elevation Fight Team instead.
Oh, okay.
And I never really spoke about this to the public really, but me and Coach have an understanding, of course, like even though he's on the Elevation Fight Team and I'm on the Factory X Fight Team, we're kind of like rivals in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
I have no beef with those guys. But if I'm fighting someone from there or he's fighting someone from here, or anything like that, we swear on my life, we don't give any information. We don't even ask. We don't even talk about training.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I see him once a week to watch the fights, or I see him at work, or I just go over there and hang out. He comes to my house to hang out. It's like we're not talking about training. That's like a funny story. Like we don't we're just focused on like being with each other and being present in the moment and just hanging out like we used to back home. Because now we don't get that opportunity anymore. Like we used to see each other every day, all day, and now it's like spaced out throughout the week or even sometimes the month. Because I got to fight, or he has to work, or he has a fight, or like something crazy is going on.
Life.
Yeah. But it's definitely a priority for me to spend time with him and his family, though, for sure. Him and his kids and his wife, they're all great people in my life, for sure. Friend. Yeah. Yeah, they've done a lot for me. I've done a lot for them, and yeah.
So tell me, you come to the X. How was that tryout week or month?
Excuse me. It was rough. Like I said, I thought I was sweet, man. I thought I was great. I thought I was the next big thing. But then you just find out there's levels, man. And now, in a lot of ways, I love that I'm nowhere near the best guy in the gym. Nowhere near. Because back home, I'm the best guy there. I haven't gotten better in a year.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if I'm the worst guy in the room here, that's great because I'm getting better and better and better every day.
Better every day.
Definitely hurt. Definitely was a painful month. Emotionally, physically.
How were you dealing with the altitude?
At the end of the day, when I was a little kid in school, looking at the clock, wishing it was time to go to practice, that's what I wanted to fucking do. So I feel like I do get tired fighting and I do get gassed out kind of easily, I guess, if you ask some people, but like fucking Yusuf. But at the end of the day, it's what I want to do. It's fun to me. So I never like reach a point where I just can't do anymore. I just can't do anymore. Well, it's like, this is what I like to do. So I always have something left for fighting, for sure.
It's absolutely the competition and the push.
Yeah. Whereas like I'll get burnt out working Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the club because like I don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah. But
if I had to train for 12 hours straight, I'd be fine because like that's what I want to do anyway.
You're just doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, how many fights have you had the X now?
Let's see. I fought Nofel Khosrow. I fought Kyle Broadwater, and then I fought Matt Jones, and I fought Chris Miller, and then I fought Justice, and then I fought, what's that guy's name? Joe, and then I fought AJ. So 7.
Wow, that's a lot.
7 fights, and I've been here just under 4 years.
So what's your pro record now?
6-5.
6-5.
Yeah, and the reason I'm 6-5 is a series of decisions. If you look at any of my fights, even dating back to my very first one ever, it's like I get worlds better every time. Like I'm a whole other fighter every time. You can look at it and see an obvious difference every time. And it's also decisions like now that I'm fighting at the higher level, I'm used to finishing fast fights super fast. As an amateur, all my knockouts and submissions are super quick in the first round. But then when I went pro, fighting tougher and tougher guys, it's like, yeah, I might almost finish them, but they're able to regroup and refocus and come at me again, where it's like, then that makes me doubt myself. I'm taking my foot off the gas, and now I'm losing a decision or losing a submission in the late in the fight because I think that I can't do it because I tried and I didn't do it at that moment. Like with my last fight, AJ Cunningham, that's a UFC level opponent. 9-2, tough kid, good story. I almost choke him out. I almost knock him out with a spinning elbow, but he's tough, so he's able to just power through those kind of things. And then I was like, maybe I can't finish him. Maybe I don't have what it takes. And then I'm taking my foot off the gas and losing later in the fight when if I watch it back, I realize if I just push a little harder, that maybe the fight would have ended very differently. Yeah. And that going for a lot of the fights that I've lost. Whereas like if I would just not feel tired and think that I'm losing or think that I'm more tired than him, or like I get hit once and now all of a sudden I'm losing in my head. Not looking at fighting as a series of moments, looking at it as one big whole thing. Where it's like I need to look at it as like a series of moments, series of exchanges, and if I lose one of those, it's okay. Just go win the next 2 or 3.
Yeah, I always hated it. Like you get pissed off and get the takedown and
I really think a good way to fix that is actually to work on my footwork, because let's say I do something really, really good. I land something, it looks good, but then I'm just standing there because I think in my head you should be dead now. But it's like if I throw 1, 2, 3, let's say I feint, angle 1, 2, 3. Now I need to angle again because in my head, if I angle again, that means we're resetting the board and playing again. No matter how this exchange went, whether you won or I won, I need to reset the board after. Big angle, make you turn, make you reset, or do it to myself to then reset the board. So now I'm playing again, thus making it in my head a series of exchanges and not one big giant thing.
No, that makes sense. Because you're not supposed to watch your work.
No.
They say that, don't watch, don't look, don't look at it.
Yeah, because people are tough, dude.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I've had that when I first started learning how to strike. I used to be like, just simple, 2-3-2. And I'd be like, oh, shit, that landed. I'd landed, and then next thing I know, I'm like, clack, 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 clack. Shit, I should have moved.
Yeah.
So what do you have any fights coming up? What are your
I was supposed to fight February 4th, but I sprained my ACL. So right now I'm doing lots of PT, slowly getting back into it. I'm striking live now. That feels good. But as far as wrestling live, I'm not really ready to do that yet. I've learned that today the hard way. But yeah, the PT I'm doing over there at Barwest next door to Factory X is going pretty good. And he feels strong, feels stable, but it just needs a little more time.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. I had 5 rounds in a row in the cage to spar to prepare for this fight coming up. And I'm not the best warmer-upper in the world. I like to just get in there and do it. Probably a mix of getting kicked, wrestling, and not warming up. I'd say that trio of things is probably responsible for my ACL spraining.
So when I first fought with Coach one time, I would always come late because I do businesses and doing my little hustle. Mm-hmm. So I would always skip warm up. So we're going at my first fight there. He says, "Start your warm up." I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and he's looking. He says, "You don't know how to do the goddamn warm-up."
The walking series, yeah.
It started ripping me out. Luckily, it didn't affect me. But so, healing the knee, and then after you heal the knee, get back in the cage.
Yeah, I'm looking maybe late March or early April will be good.
You're looking to bang out another 4 or 5 fights in a year?
Yeah, for sure, because me being 6-5, it's not the worst thing in the world if you look at how those fights went and who I fought. But they're not going to look at that. No. So I need to stop taking these crazy matchups against guys that are like 9-2, 10-0, things like that. Guys that I could definitely beat. I'm not saying I can't beat them, but I'm saying I need to pad my record a little bit, kind of how they do in boxing, and just kind of take some. I'll just be honest. Get some kills, because I mean, Fury definitely has Fury FC. They definitely have the guys on the roster that I can definitely get some kills, and that's what I'm looking for. Get my record to 10-5, 9-5 this year. Yeah. With finishes. I'm eligible for a short notice UFC, because that's what's all about for me is UFC, man. Like, that's what I set out to do. I remember seeing it on TV when I was 8 years old, saying that I want to do that. And if being a better businessman and being smarter and taking the fights that I normally would just say no to, like give me the hard guy. Yeah. But I can't do that anymore. It doesn't make business sense. Yeah. So I need to change my way of thinking a little bit, be a little more tactical with the business side of things and the matchups I'm taking. Yeah. Get my record to be pretty to then make my dream a reality.
Yeah. MMA records are nothing like boxing records.
Nothing.
So.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing like that.
It's crazy. If people will open Tapology, they'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's just that because, anything could happen. Mm-hmm. And when you're in certain levels, those people on them, you're fighting top people a lot of the times. And it's not like boxing where you got guys, which it does happen in MMA. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but you have guys like debuting against someone who's won in 99 or stuff like that.
Yeah.
5-60.
And like I said, even though I want to fight guys on a lower level, I still realize that they're still a grown man throwing a punch.
Yeah.
They still have good jiu-jitsu. They still have good wrestling. They still want things and dream about things gloves. Too. But there is levels to this though. And if I take you seriously and I train my ass off, like I know that I can do, the things I have control over, then I think we know what's going to happen in the fight against someone on a lower level than me.
Yeah, well, you're still pretty young, and you have a wealth of training under you already.
Yeah, 21 fights total for 26 years old is a lot.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fights.
Yeah, I kind of get embarrassed about that in a way because it's like maybe I should be better by now. But we're all learning on our own curve here. We're all learning on our own curve.
So what I usually ask everybody is, what's your message? If when we wrap this up and everybody sees the end of this interview and they think about Jason, what is your message you want them to take away? You can say it right there. That camera right
there. I would say whenever anyone asks me what I believe in as far as like religion or anything like that, I don't like to get too much into that, but what I do believe in for sure is be a good person. Whether you're fighting or you're working a regular job or whatever dream you're chasing, like if you just be a cool person and you treat everyone with kindness, like, and you try to build bridges, there is no limit to what you can accomplish for reals.
That's a good message.
Yeah.
You look nervous at first.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say honestly, but that's what I always go back to. It's just be cool, man. Like they ask Jason, what do you believe in? Just be cool. Yeah. Whoever you meet, shake their hand, look them in the eye, and tell a joke, man. Like. Try to build as many bridges as you can.
Yes, that's good. That's good advice. Be a good person. My brother told me, what was he? He used to be he asked God one day to help him out, and he'd be a good person. Mm-hmm. And he told ever since he started being a good person, his life has got easier.
Yeah, something that I found interesting that I thought of the other day is like. Somebody asked me like what my goal is with fighting, and I feel like it's changed a little bit. Like, of course, like I want to be the best. I want to be a world champion. I want to be in the UFC. Like those are things that I'll never let go of. Those are things that I'll chase the day I die. But when someone close to me asked me that question the other day, I was like, well, like my dream has always been to be a good dad. And I get emotional talking about that, because my childhood wasn't easy. It wasn't like anybody else's. I'm not saying no one else had it harder or scary or whatever, but the feeling of loneliness and abandonment and not being good enough, my child will never feel those feelings. Like I said, my dream's always been to be a good dad. And I've talked to my father about the things he thinks he did wrong, and he said, I think that I was too hell-bent on providing that I didn't give you guys my time. So like I said, my goal is to be a good parent in life. Coach always says it's more important to be a world champion in life than it is in fighting. And if I can say that I'm a good husband, a good father, and a good person, I'm a world champion in life. Everyone in my family's provided for on a baseline. Like we have a regular house, a regular car, maybe a vacation every now and again. Pretty mediocre, but like if I can provide that for my family, I fucking made it, dude. And if I can do that with fighting, like that's my goal with fighting now mainly is use fighting to provide a relatively regular lifestyle for my family and also give them my time. If I could if I can hold my baby for the first time and know that I can provide for them with fighting, and I can say that I fought for everything we have and no one can ever take that from me, that would be my definition of I made it in fighting.
I didn't ask, do you have kids?
I do not. I want kids, though.
Yeah. You're married, though, correct?
I'm not married, no.
No, I thought you had a girlfriend.
No, I have a fiance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of a new thing. No one really even knows we're engaged on a big scale, so that's what. So your boy Jason's engaged.
Everybody knows now. The whole world knows. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was good.
Yeah, I get right. Usually I cry a lot more when I talk about that, but yeah, dude, it's just like that's always been it for me. Is like I want to be a world champion and I want to be a good father, but it's like if I could use fighting to provide for my family, as long as I get to a point in fighting like top 10, where I'm like I don't have to have a regular job and I can provide for my family, dude. I made it, bro. I made it, bro.
Yeah.
And those are all things that are decision based. Everyone my whole life has told me how good I am, but everyone's also told me that I hold back in fights. I don't believe in myself. I'm afraid of that fifth gear. I'm afraid that if I get too tired, then whatever. But it's like I need to lock in and realize that if I'm tired, they're tired. I can do this. And as soon as I make that mental adjustment in this next fight, it's off to the races, and I can make that happen.
Yeah, you sure got to fight to your potential. So not everybody fights the same in the cage as they do in the gym.
Yeah.
And you just got to have that confidence. You know, you got a strong team.
You ask anyone on the team, bro, I am a sweetheart at practice, bro. I've hurt my hand because like I'll see an opening for a left hook, and instead of landing it like this, I'll land it like this. Because I don't have to do them like that in my head. I'm like, I like them. I don't want to like not that I just hit so hard they can't. But it's like, why would I do them like that? Like, there's no reason for that. So it's like,
learn how to block.
But I got to stop doing that and start fucking people up in there. They'll get some respect, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not that you're not doing anybody a service by holding.
No, at all. You know what I mean? And then it translates in fights too. Sometimes in some ways, I just got to get a little more comfortable being mean, and that's why I stopped touching gloves in fights. Yeah. Is to make myself get in that mean mindset. Game. Yeah, it really is. It's a heartless. I always tell younger fighters, I'm like, when you were like 15, 16 to 18, like you liked a girl a lot, but she didn't like you all that much, and like she would kind of give you some play every now and again, but then go back to ice cold again. Fighting is like that. It's never gonna love you the way you love it. It's like that. It's like that girl you're chasing. She'll text you back sometimes, but she ain't.
she'll give you a little tap on the side, and so you get.
Fighting's just not gonna love you the way you love it. It's just not.
I don't think that goes for most passions in life.
Yeah.
Right? Something that you're super passionate about.
Yeah.
Who says it? Nick Diaz. You gotta hate it so much you love it. And you gotta love it so much you hate it.
People thought that was like a funny line.
No, that was true.
But like, if you really like break down what that is,
it's true.
Yeah.
You gotta love 100%. It so much you hate it.
Yeah. This game's made me cry for sad reasons, happy reasons. It's been a roller coaster. But like I said, my favorite part of fighting, and because I've been doing it a long time, and I've met a lot of people doing it. My favorite part about fighting is the people that I've met and the relationships that I have through fighting, for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you, man.
Nice talking to you too, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, but you have a good story for someone just 12 years old. You've been 12. Your life has been martial arts since 12 years old.
Yeah, my life's been violence, man. Yeah.
And then taking on a bunch of tough fights and being so transparent about, the way it is. And I think a lot of younger guys are going to hear this.
And when you're saying transparency and younger and older guys, it's like, I feel like now that I'm like a grown man, I know I'm only 26, but it's like, I feel like the more transparent I can be about my feelings, about whether it's life, a failed relationship, a successful relationship, fighting, literally any walk of life, if you could just be, as an adult, more transparent to how you feel to the younger generation, I feel like that'll make people a lot more better to communicate and a healthier mental society. Because everyone thinks like a man is not supposed to cry or not supposed to show this. Why? Says who? You know what I mean? I'll cry right now and beat your fucking ass, son. You know what I mean?
Why I'm crying?
But it's like I don't want my kid to grow up thinking he can't talk to me about something, or think that he can't be sad about something, or something can't hurt his feelings. Be hurt, bro.
What the fuck?
But also don't affect others with it, though. Don't ruin someone else's day because you're hurt. But don't be afraid to show how you feel, for sure.
No, you can't. And I've said this before. You can't pamper people, or you can't expect someone, like say you have a son and you have him grow up, you can't raise him blocking him from hurt, because then when he gets grown and he gets that hurt finally, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
He's not going to know how to handle it. That's how you get these mass shootings and stuff, because they don't know how to handle it when they get at that age. They've been pampered, and now you're a grown man, and
they find a happy medium for sure.
Yeah, your first time you're dealing with adversity and pain, and you're like, what the fuck? Make sure y'all guys like and subscribe to the video. Mostly just subscribe. Jason, do you believe 96% of these people who watch the YouTube channel are not subscribed?
That's crazy. Subscribe to my boy, man.
96%.
And they're all notification whenever a new interview comes out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming back, you return, you're watching all the podcasts, you're watching all the videos and the clips, but you don't hit, it's free.
C-Rod needs new shorts. Subscribe, motherfuckers.
But yeah, subscribe to the video. Make sure I'm going to post, what are your social media? Shout out your social media.
Yeah, it's Instagram is at Cassius_MMA. Cassius is actually my real middle name. Everyone thinks it's just a fight nickname, but my real name is Jason Cassius Mullen. I don't really fuck with Twitter. But yeah, Instagram CASSIUS_MMA.
Well, follow my boy, because the bigger following you get, the more fights, the more promotion. It helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming, my brother.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Everybody subscribe, and next video coming soon. We out.